Did you know that you might have Neanderthal DNA in your genome? Specifically, if you have non-African ancestry, you probably have around 2% Neanderthal DNA. What does this mean? Well, if you traced your family tree way back, many generations, to about 50,000 years ago, at least one of your ancestors was a Neanderthal. How could this be, you might ask? As it turns out, we, modern humans, and Neanderthals are more closely related than you might think. Because Neanderthals and early modern humans lived in separate locations, they were on their way to becoming distinct species. And this physical separation is why Neanderthals and modern humans look physically different. But while they look different, they remain genetically similar enough to interbreed, kind of like lions and tigers, or horses and donkeys. But there's an important difference here. Ligers and mules usually can't have offspring of their own, but the offspring of a Neanderthal and modern human could, and did. We know from the fossil and archaeological record that modern humans and Neanderthals encountered each other in the Middle East and Europe for several thousand years. During this time, they were able to interbreed, mixing up their genes in the process. You might be thinking, but how do you know that? There are no living Neanderthals, nor is there any written history of these interactions. This is where DNA comes in. Scientists have been able to extract DNA from Neanderthal fossils to reconstruct the genomes of several Neanderthal individuals and uncover the history they left behind in their genes. By comparing those sequences to genomes from today's humans, they are able to identify similarities and differences between the two, estimate when our lineages initially split apart, and find regions of the genome that we inherited from Neanderthals. To put this in context, it's helpful to understand a bit about how DNA is passed down each generation. In each of your cells, DNA is wrapped up into 46 chromosomes, 23 from your mom and 23 from your dad. So, when two individuals interbreed, like a modern human and a Neanderthal, their offspring will get 50% of their mother's DNA and 50% of their father's. This means that a child that was the first generation product of a Neanderthal and modern human interbreeding event would have half Neanderthal and half modern human DNA. Over time, as more matings occur, DNA on matching chromosomes gets mixed up into new combinations through a process called crossing over during the formation of egg and sperm cells. So the chromosomes in the cells of your body are a mosaic of your mom and dad's genes. This means that over time, modern human and Neanderthal DNA sequences will get mixed together, and as more generations pass, the Neanderthal sequences will get broken up among the modern human chromosomes. The sizes of Neanderthal fragments in the human genome allows us to figure out how long ago the initial interbreeding event happened, as more ancient interbreeding events will result in smaller fragments today. But how can we tell what is Neanderthal DNA and what is modern human DNA? After all, the vast majority of our genomes are identical. Over time, random mutations, or changes in DNA sequences, will accumulate. By comparing sequences from Neanderthal fossils and living modern humans, we can identify the places in the DNA sequences where Neanderthals have one sequence, while modern humans tend to have another. This could be a single DNA base that differs, or a short sequence that might be inserted or deleted. These places in the genome can act as identifiers and help us figure out where the sequence originated from, Neanderthals or modern humans. Then, if in certain populations that we suspect encountered Neanderthals, we find that it is common for modern humans to have the Neanderthal variant, while other populations don't have it at all, we can pretty confidently say that those populations inherited that gene from Neanderthals long ago. So, if we know that Neanderthals contributed to the gene pool of today's modern humans, what do the genes that they gave us actually do? Several studies have been done to try to answer this question. It seems that the genes that function in modern humans that we can say with confidence came from Neanderthals have to do with a few adaptive traits. These include immune response, pigmentation, and metabolism of fats. It's hypothesized that these traits help protect humans from the harsh environment of Ice Age Europe, where Neanderthals evolved. However, these are just a few traits, and there is still much that remains unknown. So right now, it seems that while non-Africans have around 2% Neanderthal DNA, the Neanderthal contribution to modern human appearance and behavior is still pretty small. But we can probably thank our evolutionary cousins, the Neanderthals, for giving us some genes that helped us adapt to Ice Age Europe as we migrated around the world.